Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DAC C's Qualifier. We are on the very last day. First up, we have Faceless versus TNC. This is the lower bracket finals. TNC got sent down here, I believe, by WG Unity and... No, by Maneski. No, by Faceless, actually. Faceless sent them down on 2 days ago. And then yesterday, we had Faceless being sent down here by WG Unity. And now these two teams are up once again. The winner gets to move on to the grand final and face WG Unity in our next best of 3. But for now, these two have to duke it out. The winner moves on, the loser goes home. I am Luminous. I'm going to be joined by Ailson, and this should be a very exciting conclusion of the DAC qualifiers.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw Faceless pulling out some new strategies. We saw Wraith King yesterday.
Yep.
You have, do you think they'll do anything like that again today?
I mean, it won them one game and lost them another. I'm not sure if that's good enough for them, but I wonder if that's just against WG in particular, because the heroes like they picked are very one cycle heavy, which, you know, long cooldowns, one team fight kind of to win them all, and Wraith King is technically very good against that type of stuff. I think it mostly comes down to the draft, because Faceless was like last picking it. They weren't, you know, first phase Wraith King kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, yesterday, WG just pretty much beat Faceless with a very, very greedy lineup, and they just did a very good job in maintaining that level of greed without feeding it away. And then once the game reached a certain stage, Wraith King just couldn't carry the game by himself, and honestly, I feel like Jabs played a little worse than he usually does. Like, I think throughout the entire series, or not series, but the entire qualifiers, Jabs has just like destroyed everyone without fail.
Right.
And then yesterday against WG Unity, he didn't look quite as good as he did the rest of the games.
Yeah, it seems like WG, at least the focus was to shut down him in the laning stage, either giving Ajit or Nana a very good lane, or sending multiple heroes to gank him. We'll see if that's going to be the case here for TNC. And looks like we're going to see an Ursa Warrior, which is not a hero that has been picked a lot. Granted, he's been kind of last phase ban or second phase ban quite a bit, so looks like we're going to see it here at least once.
Yeah, I think the main pickup, or main reason for the Ursa pickup right now is probably because they fear the Ice Timbersaw, and Ursa is one of the better carries that can lane against the Timbersaw in the safe lane.
Okay.
Because sometimes teams pick like heroes that are way too greedy, and they expect, you know, maybe we'll be fine if we put 3 heroes up here against a Timbersaw, and a Timbersaw sometimes actually 1v3s them because of that. And now that you have an Ursa, Ursa can actually pretty much 1v1 Timbersaw. So it just really depends on how TNC want to run this.
Yeah, I mean, Ursa obviously could go mid as well if they want a different matchup, but I doubt they want anything else versus the Timber. Ursa is probably just one of the best in the business to do so. And Templar Assassin being picked up for the mid lane. What's your thought on that? Because we don't see Jabs play this hero ever, at least not me personally. And is there something that you felt like TA is very good at against this lineup?
I wouldn't say she's like extremely good at against any of these heroes, but TA is overall a fairly solid hero, and with a Rubik and an Undying, at least you have 2 targets that you can, I would say, very easily kill by yourself. Like Rubik is fairly squishy. If you get off to a good start, you can just blink in and 2-shot him. Same with Undying. Nyx and Ursa not so much, but yeah, I think that's just about it. I
would say
TA, it's just overall very solid. That's all.
I would add to that the traps are very good against Ursa overall, like in the fights, and also just leaving them in the Roshan pit, for example, so he can't like sneak anything.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
And then obviously you could actually take Rosh yourself, you know, if the timing is right. So we'll see. And
she's just one of those heroes that is, like I mentioned, very solid overall, and even more so just because you have an Ogre Magi, and the Bloodlust just makes it so that you can do that much more damage even without getting attack speed. So if you wanted to take a very greedy route just for extra damage, like Blink Deso into Daedalus, you'll still have that attack speed necessary, just because the Ogre Magi is there to bloodless you.
Alchemist being taken out. Do we see TNC actually play Alchemist?
I don't think we've seen him play it, but I'm pretty sure Cuckoo could play it. And Alchemist isn't a bad matchup for the TA either. I guess it kind of goes like both ways, because if a TA gets a decent start with some help, and Alchemist like just kind of breaks even with TA could just two-shot him as well later on, just because of his low armor. All right, so Faceless need one more. They need a carry here, and I think if anything, they want something that can actually probably best to deal with Ursa, if anything.
The Faceless Void has been pretty popular for Black. I guess also.
Oh, that's actually a very good pick, actually.
Yeah. I mean, the danger is that, like, oh, Venge carry from Black? That's totally unexpected.
We never see this.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I mean, is that a hero you would say that's good against Ursa?
I don't think it's the greatest against Ursa. It's range. It's a range hero, so there is always the potential of just kiting Ursa. And Vengeful Spirit, not a bad Hurricane Pike user, and it also kind of helps you out with dealing with the Tombstone as well. But I guess with this kind of setup, it's mostly relying on the Templar Assassin to do majority of the damage for the early stages of the team fight.
I mean, I would say they help each other, so...
Right. But I think this is a kind of setup that really allows Timbersaw to carry the game. And we all know how strong Ice 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 Timbersaw is. I wouldn't be surprised if they manage to, or if he manages to carry this game as well.
Right, he does have that hard lane like you mentioned, but he's probably one of the best players in the off lane to deal with a kind of adversary matchup. Ooh.
Sniper.
So obviously decent in the lane versus Templar, but I'm not sure if it's great in this game, right? I feel like Venge in particular, TA, and Timber, all of these cores have a very easy way to get onto the Sniper. I'm not sure if I like this final pickup.
I wouldn't say it's like easy to catch the Sniper, but it really relies on the Venge. Like Swap is by far the most important spell to catch out the Sniper. Everything else, like even though Templar Assassins do go for a Blink Dagger and Timbersaw can also kind of close the gap even with or without a Blink Dagger, it's still pretty difficult to catch the Sniper here, so we're just gonna have to see how the Sniper plays in this game.
Yep. I mean, at the very least, he's very good against the two support heroes. I don't think he'll get zoned out too hard by the Ogre Magi, although I could see level 1 Ignite coming in, making him suffer a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And
Oops.
it's also one of the nice things about the Ursa Spirit, or not Ursa Spirit, the Ursa jab stomach ache. Well, we always talk about reasons for pausing. But having an Ursa just makes it a lot easier to play Sniper, I think. Because you could always rely on your Ursa to just jump in, and it's not like the Ursa's just going to die. In fact, it's almost impossible for an Ursa to jump in and die. Only way he dies is if he gets stun locked without being able to enrage. Or silence without a scepter or something like that.
I mean, it's Ice 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 saying jab stomachache, so probably he doesn't have a stomachache, and it's just something else.
That's a good point. Something else. Yeah. Maybe he has a stomachache and he's just making it up to hide it.
Oh, Jabs is not saying anything in retaliation, so who knows. So, we've seen TNC play very well. We also seen them lose. And the same thing could be said with Faceless. I think yesterday, if I asked you this question, you'll be like, well, easy Faceless 2-0. But who's gonna take this series? What score?
Even though despite yesterday's performance from Faceless, I still believe that they are the stronger team. And like you said, TNC, they played very well, but I'm still gonna have to go with a, at best, 2-1 for Faceless personally.
Okay.
Like that's at best too. If not that, then we might even just see a 2-0,
so
depending on how well Faceless prepared themselves.
Okay, so you're very confident with Faceless.
Yeah, I mean the picks itself are pretty good. I wouldn't say like, you know, with utmost confidence that, you know, Faceless are gonna stomp this game because of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But just overall performance-wise, and
30 seconds to go.
I guess just basing it off the experience that the players have, I would still say that Faceless are ahead.
All right. Well, in terms of the early warding, did Radiant drop any wards yet? No. That's pretty odd. Normally the wards have come down by now, and looks like Faceless is gonna do a little bit of lane swapping. They don't want the Ursa Timbersaw matchup, but I believe TNC has scouted it, so they will also have the lane up top, the Nyx Assassin. So
Here we go.
so far, pretty TNC advantage, if you ask me.
This will come in handy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And
Radiant on one side. Dire
I guess that was just a really good movement, really good move from Ursa, TPing up top and then just pretty much chasing Ogre out of the jungle. Made it a little more difficult for them to predict just exactly where they would be going.
Yep. Oh, we're gonna start things off, and this is gonna be maybe the poor man bodyguard. Tims is in the mid lane, dropping decays, and it is allowing Sniper to get that fairly easy start into the lane.
Definitely not a bad bodyguard. Simply because Decade makes it so much more difficult for TA to trade, losing all of that max health.
Let you tango up like a boss, though, so I don't know.
It also makes you get right click like
Like a boss?
far worse than you normally would, yeah.
Alright,
Yes.
okay.
The value you get out of 2 right clicks is probably
Oh my
outweighs
God.
the
He's got 300 HP right now. He's gonna pop a Fairy Fire and just like heal them for like 25% health. The man has a stomachache, man.
Ooh,
Not like this.
This is rough.
Yeah. Alright, he puts on the refraction, so it doesn't matter what his HP is. He's got a shield. He's okay.
It's gonna matter now.
Oh,
reduces the
Shrapnel,
mana.
look at these right click. That's first blood. And Cuckoo's gonna draw it. Damn, man. This harass is real.
You called him the cheap bodyguard. He heard you. He was like, "Fuck that! I'm the real bodyguard."
Yeah. I haven't seen Ogre do that kind of stuff. In fact, Ogre has not skilled anything up top yet.
And simply because Ogre not even able to make this pull happen.
Nuts in a little bit of trouble here. That casket not gonna bounce backwards, and Nuts is gonna take a couple more right click. That's gonna be a secondary kill. Raven picks up a kill immediately after picking up the boots with the telekinesis from the Rubik. Very nicely done. And this is kind of how we saw Faceless struggle yesterday. They were losing out the lanes to WG, and then WG just maintained a very strong lead. Would not surprise me if TNC could do the same.
Yeah, definitely agree. Already making my predictions look really bad.
Alright, we got
That
Ogre
was,
coming in. The battle of the bodyguards. And you can see the strength of this lane. I mean, with the decay dropping the HP and then the shrapnel removing the shield, Japs can be killed quite easily. Cuckoo's just not afraid on this high ground. The 2 bodyguards going hard at it. No ignite still. XY, not exactly sure what he's saving the skill for. Meanwhile, on the bottom
lane,
side,
they kill off Ice.
okay.
Yeah, this is why they pick Ursa, just because it like.
Cuckoo on the mid lane in a lot of trouble. Does not have a Fairy Fire. The fire is burning him down. Couple more right click will do. He pops himself at the very last second. XY is going to go down, making that tower dive. Well, TNC turns the mid lane around again. They double south. And they even have the bottom shrine if they want to make that trek. But this laning phase is a disaster for Faceless.
Yeah, this is definitely probably even worse than one of the, I think it was like the first game.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, the laning phase was just terrible for them. And once
Right.
again, they're just getting outlaned completely.
I don't think I've seen the Carry Venge win a single game if she lost her laning phase, because that's supposed to be the plays that she's good at. Now, obviously, she's doing okay, but her team is not doing the best. And eventual carry is one of those cores that could get your team back via very aggressive ganks. So I think a lot of it is now lying on Black's shoulder. Like, he needs to make that level 6 swap count and pick up a ton of ganks for his team.
Bottom lane, they do find a pick off on Raven at least. Raven playing a little too aggressive, not respecting the fact that the Ogre could always come into this lane to help.
Alright, I am missing a couple of these kills. My apologies. Hopefully, we'll get better.
Mid lane, James has to be really careful here. Alright, he's gonna be fine.
Oh, Mango gets used here. And Rior trying to bait out the chain, and then he'll lift. But now Nuts in a lot of trouble. The Maledict is going to miss as well. Nuts is going to go down. Ice, Ice, Ice. Maybe he could convert it into a kill. He does have chain 1 second. Nice dodge here by Rior. And now it's going to go the other direction. Ice, Ice, Ice want to come back in. Okay, maybe chain, but the clap and the right clicks. Double kill for Raven. This is a dream start for an Ursa, honestly.
Yeah, apart from dying once, this is going great for him. Not just him, but pretty much the entire team.
Yeah.
Like you said, top lane is probably the only lane that is not doing too bad, but it's not exactly...
Double damage on the mid lane. Jabs. No shield. Gets shrapnel down with the tombstone on the back line. It's 1-7, guys. Faceless. Getting pretty much destroyed in the laning stage. Bottom lane, Raven does get picked off by a Maledict gank by Nuts. So at least they're kind of answering on the bottom lane, but this mid lane is, I don't know.
Yeah, that was what I was about to mention. Like, wherever this Ogre isn't at, the lane just loses. Oh, Black. So, swap, stun.
Well,
Nothing.
nothing happens. And that's a great point that you make, because I think some of the answer to the Ogre in the last patch was to pick a really strong laning hero to either keep him in one lane. I think Jakira and Undying was employed a lot in that particular reason, or you could kind of force him to roam around and destroy the other lanes where he's not. And that's exactly what TNC is doing here. Black forced to rotate his first gank, unsuccessful. And again, it comes down to, is he going to keep on the ganks, or is he going to stay in the lane and farm? It feels like neither is really a good choice for them because they're so far behind.
I don't think he has a choice to go anywhere but top lane still, I believe. I guess you could do a lane swap with Timbersaw, but Raven's already up here. I don't think you want to put your Timbersaw against the Ursa.
Now, the other day when we saw, I believe it was WG playing the sniper, they went for a Maelstrom first. Do you think we're going to see some sort of similar build, or are we going to see the tried and true Dragonlance, Hurricane Pike kind of stuff?
I think for this game, it might actually be more beneficial for him to go for something like similar to that build, but somewhere along the way he ends up picking up the Shadow Blade. Oh, top lane.
Black's gonna get found, and well, he does drop off a magic missile, but the right clicks will come through. Raven will pick up the kill. I think the shrapnel flying down. The Tombstone's gonna be there as well. Tims does have a soul rep for himself, so he's not really worried about dying. Cuckoo is gonna get off an assassination kill, but he needs to be on the run, and well, 0 for 1 trade here on the mid lane. Tower is gonna get denied, so that's something going towards Faceless. But they are not stopping this Mr. Ho Ho Ha Ha.
That was pretty much 4v2, and they still walk away with 1 kill.
I know a lot of people make the comparison to Sniper and Lone Druid and saying, Lone Druid is just a better sniper, but I think we're seeing here at this particular laning phase, the Shrapnel in particular and the Assassinate is allowing the Sniper to pick up a lot more early kills than I think a Lone Druid would. So that's definitely a +1 in my books for the Sniper.
Oh yeah, definitely, I agree. Shrapnel is just insane, and it's not something that Lone Druid offers.
Well, unless your bear roots, you know, every time.
Bottom lane, they're smoked up. They want to pick off Ice.
Oh, they're just charging in for him.
Aggressively dive.
All right, decays on him, but great play here by Ice Chakram into a chain. But there's a TP in by Nuts. Nuts says, "Oh no, not like this." He TPs straight into an Impale and just dies.
And this laning phase, like Stomp, is just continuing. TNC just fully in control of this game right now.
Yep. I like the play by Sam H as well. Not going to give up any tower. Immediately ports up top. Not going to allow Black to take it. Sam H once again employing his favorite tactic of the offlane bottle. I think it makes a lot more sense on a hero like Nyx Assassin, but he skips the arcane boots that Nyx almost always gets in the favor of a power treads. Haven't seen this in a long time.
That's a very good point. Maybe we're going to see some different type of build from Nyx. I know that his talent tree got slightly changed as well. He gets 40 agility at level 20 now.
Is that really what he's gonna take? 40 agility?
I think 40 agility is pretty legit at level 20.
That's
I think if you manage to hit level 20, I think it's not entirely out of the question that you could potentially go for an E-Blade.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40 agility plus an E-Blade, which also gives you, I think, 40. That's a lot of agility for a big shotgun.
And, you know, you definitely want the armor this game. It helps a lot.
Sure.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Sam H rotating around, trying to find some picks.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
I think they might be grouping them to smoke, and Sam H might just break their smoke here. No. Walks all the way through to mid lane. No one's here, though.
Yeah, they need a sniper here for sure to actually set up the skill, but sniper in the top lane, he doesn't have a teleport score available, so...
Looks like Raven wants to make his way over, but he doesn't have Blink Dagger. I don't think this is going to happen. Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and farm.
Black needs to actually fire off that swap. He's going to run to the right side, smoke break. He swaps him into the trees, and that should be a very easy kill. They blow him up very fast. Soul Rib is not going to be available. Nice stun by XY.
Oh, this Tombstone is in a perfect position, though.
That's
this
a three-man decay. Raven comes back in. That's... nobody dies just yet. Black gets lifted back here, but it's going to be Tim's. It's going to be the first one to go down.
My God.
And then now Black is going to survive as well. XY making it happen. He is going to finally die. Raven gets surrounded. He's going to have the Maledict on him as well. And they ignore Ice. That's an ultra kill on Ice. Might make it a Rampage here as Ice. Yeah, Rampage. We are 11 minutes in, guys. I think they have recovered after that team fight. That gold graph, unsure of what to do, just spikes up to the other direction.
I think I mentioned in the draft, this is one of those games where it's not entirely out of the question that Ice just carries on his Timbersaw.
Suddenly, he's like top
Rampage
network.
at 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's...
Holy shit. That was just beautifully played too. You know, do you see how much value he got out of every single cast? Like, without fail, he hit at least 2 people when there was like just 3 of them. He still hit, he like pretty much hit everyone except for Ursa.
Yep.
Just shredding the supports.
I think that's a classic of, oh, we are quite ahead. Let's just keep chase, run at them, and win. But then they don't realize, like, neither Sniper or Nyx was there, right? Sniper died in the beginning. Nyx came in last. So without those 2 heroes, there's really no good control, at least in the form of AoE. The Tombstone was great, but then, you know, everyone just ran away from it. Rubik came in with a single lift. He died. And Ursa, well, he just got kited without the Blink Dagger. So TNC gotta definitely, you know, take this one home. That lead that they had is all but evaporated, in my opinion. In fact, it's...
Rior might get caught out again here, too.
Okay, Lip. He still Chakram. Throws the Chakram back, but Rior is going to get picked up by a Magic Missile. And the momentum. All on the Faceless side now.
That one team fight. 25... Or no, it wasn't 25. It was 3,000 net worth lead, and now it's 2,000 the other way. That was a 5,000 gold net swing.
Yep.
In the span of 1 minute.
And Ice is now going to be working towards that Bloodstone as well. Raven on the top lane. We'll port to the bottom.
No Blink Dagger yet on Ursa either. This is something they might have to wait on first.
Yep. I mean, normally when TNC falls a little bit behind, I'm not too concerned for them because their draft, especially with Samage on things like Slaughter, Darkseer, Axe, they could team fight their way back. But this is not exactly that kind of lineup. I feel like this lineup is mostly about getting these random picks when you have Nyx, when you have Ursa. So losing a big team fight like that and then not kind of recovering through multiple kills is a big concern for TNC.
Yeah, and well, right as you mentioned it, they're gonna try to make something happen here. Four-man smoke. They're gonna run right into black. I'm pretty sure Faceless are just gonna lose black here. I don't think there's gonna be anything.
Well, not if the Impale misses here. He gets assassinated, he just walks away. The Impale missed, the Shrapnel missed.
Dire's top tower.
I think it's actually still okay if you miss the shrapnel or the Impale, but you can't miss the Shrapnel too. Otherwise, he's not exactly that slow, and XY was close enough to give him that Bloodlust.
Alright, now Raven goes into the pit, but obviously this is all scouted because of the trap. This is getting a little scary here for TNC.
So I just have no mana to fight. About half mana might be enough.
But Raven is dropping
they're going
pretty low.
in.
And now Raven standing under
Very
that
nice
chakram, and he has to ult to actually make sure that he doesn't die. But great tombstone cutting off the retreat path, and now Ice still in there. He's gonna get one kill onto the Rubik. Or sorry, Undying, excuse me. 1-for-1 trade. No Rosh, and I think they're okay with that, especially with Raven, with the Radiant creeps taking down a tower. So far pretty advantaged.
Not only that, Tombstone has been used, so I'm pretty sure Faces are okay with this. I'm pretty certain that TNC have to back off because you don't have that Tombstone anymore. Raven has to heal as well.
Yeah, also like with them just throwing things like Tornado as well as Chakram into the Roshan pit, Ursa has to back off from Rosh, and the Furious Swipe stacks only last 5 seconds against Roshan. So you could pretty easily interrupt his Roshan attempt if he's not like at the last like couple of swipes at it.
Yeah, and it's like you said, TA traps, scouting out the Roshan, very important when dealing with an Ursa.
Yep. I'd like to see Jabs go back to the bottom, or to the Roshan pit when he has the time to retrap it. But Jabs, oh, another miss Impale by Sam H.
Oh, that hurts.
I don't think I've seen Sam H miss this much abilities in a while. He's normally just on top of his game.
Nick's bad hero. Gotta stop picking him.
I don't know, man.
Honestly, I feel like this is kind of how a lot of Nixes have been playing in this qualifier. It's like always having a hard time.
Yep. We saw Jules missing a lot of Impels yesterday when he was playing the support Nyx.
They're the one who get the Roshan in return.
Yeah. Crazy.
Space made by Jabs, dodging that gank and just going straight for Roshan. Holy. So like, right after that Rampage came out for Ice, he's just been racking up gold rapidly. He's almost got his Bleak Dagger.
He's going
considering
bots.
the start that he has... he's going for Bootsy out first. Okay, so he's going for the Boosted Travel first. But considering the start he had, this is very impressive amount of farm that he has.
Yeah, in the lanes he mostly just like died. Like, well, he got the Ursa once or twice, but he died a couple of times as well. But, you know, I think the BOT build is going to propel him forward. He might just be the highest net worth in this whole game. He could just, like, farm and join fights whenever.
And that he is. Currently sitting at 8,150. Slightly ahead of the Sniper. There are no trees there, Ice. So he's probably going to keep pressuring this top lane right now while his team is slowly sieging this.
Gonna be hard
And
pushing into a Sniper.
So Sniper is going for that standard Dragon Lance into Maelstrom build. And I think at this point, he should probably go for... Well, he either has to go for Hurricane Pike next, or I'd probably say Shadow Blade. I actually think Hurricane Pike is probably the safer choice.
Yeah, against TA traps, the swaps, and even just Ice coming in. Assassinate just being fired off against Black, and despite the shrapnel, they are threatening to go for a push. Ice is inside the tree line. They see the Nyx Assassin running through. And they're very persistent with this push.
Well, they still have the Aegis on Templar Assassin. And they know that Raven isn't going to be here.
XY moving to the backline, looking for... Impale does hit onto Japs, but they don't have any shrapnel left. And now Tombstone gets dropped down. Tower did go down already. Bloodlust gets stolen. He's going to actually start casting on Cuckoo. And now XY will be the first one to go down. But on the backline, Japs blinks in. He eats an Impale. He's going to be surrounded by 5. He loses his Aegis. Ice gets spiked in. Timso will die to the Death Ward. And everyone is going to be on the retreat. They swap one back in. That's going to be a Sam H. Sam dead. And that's going to be a 2-for-2 trade counting the Aegis. Faceless will maintain the push. Sniper out of gas. And he needs to go back. And looks like it's going to be TNC forfeiting a tier 2 tower as well.
Yeah, they were super persistent on protecting that tier 1, but thanks to that Aegis, Faceless are able to take 2 towers off of it.
Yep. Widening that lead. If you told me like 7 minutes in the game that Faceless would be in the lead by almost 10,000 gold, I would not have believed you. Like, I would not have seen how it would have happened.
That was one of the most devastating laning phases that we saw in this qualifier.
Yeah. Would you say that Sniper is notoriously bad against Timbersaw in the late game? Like, because he's just so tanky, and Sniper, without the critical mass of damage items, I don't think you could shred through Ice.
Timbersaw is definitely good against Sniper, but I wouldn't say he's like, you know, the ultimate counter or anything.
I guess Sniper always has access into a Silver Edge, although Cuckoo is very much so like trying to get other items first.
Yeah, he's got that Hurricane Pike queued up first, which I think is definitely the right choice here.
Rotation up top here. Black, speaking of Shadow Blade, has one of his own, but good game sense here by Raven.
Ooh, interesting. This is kind of one of the nicer things about Vengeful Spirit. She kind of supplies her own damage, so even without the without a massive amount of farm, she still hits for like 200 damage. It's not bad. And thanks to Bloodlust.
Man, look at this attack speed. Yeah. Oh my god. Raven. Oh, on the back line, looks like there's a big fight going on. Tombstone has been dropped. Cuckoo being focused on, but he's going to get saved in the very last tick. He's going to be okay. Ice, though, cleans him up. Jabs in the front line does go down. Tim's tanking it up in the middle. Where's the Ursa in all of this? He's running away, trying to reset another swipe. He's going to look to a TP out. He will make it home. But another good team fight here, as Faceless just jumps in repeatedly, multiple heroes, and they just overwhelm the Sniper.
Yeah, they're really giving a lot of respect to the Jabs TA. They pretty much used everything they could just to pick off this TA, but right now it's not only about the TA. Like, the farm spread on Faceless is pretty even, and all 3 of these cores are a rather large threat.
Reor seals terror, but pays for it. Oh my god, he gets swapped back in. Reor is gonna be dead, but Black, maybe he's gonna be in a little bit of trouble. They're gonna pop the combo on him. He does go down. Sunned up is Ice, but he does chain away. Death Ward being used here. Sam H. Gonna be in a lot of trouble. Nice Centaur Stomp Micro by Black. And nice spike going back here. Nice chain stun, but there's no damage, and he's gonna get a lot of regen back through. XY gonna get gunned down by Sniper. Looking to TP out is Ice. He'll make it home. A lot better of a team fight here for TNC, but they continue to lose objective. Tier 2 went down previous to that fight. And I think that was just a 5v4, right? Because Jabs was not in the fight at all.
Yes, that is correct. Same kind of goes for Faceless, though. I mean, they're looking pretty strong right now, and while I do say that their cores are like all strong together, this Ursa by himself can pretty much take out any of them. So they have to be a little careful of this Ursa. They might have to actually prioritize disabling the Ursa while still being able to kill off the Sniper like first.
What we've been seeing is if he doesn't get a quick burst kill as he enters in with a Blink Dagger, Ice's priority is just to control him with a Chakram. So until he gets the BKB, which is pretty close, but until he gets it, Ice 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 can just have his number every fight.
Illusion.
Not necessarily killing him, but just slowing him down.
It's actually pretty difficult to keep him slowed, simply because if Raven just jumps in, Chakram, it doesn't really slow you that much unless you're low health. If he's full health, it doesn't really do too much.
But you know, like a lot of Ursas don't like to use his ult until he gets low HP. So it might be too late if he does get too low.
Yeah, that's true. So, as you mentioned it, he is going to go for that BKB first. Getting rather close to it. I think the bigger thing for Faceless is if whether or whenever Jabs gets BKB. I think if he gets BKB, the game is actually a lot harder for TNC. I feel like Jabs should have actually went for Hurricane Pike as well. Actually.
Well, we have an Ogre Club on him. We don't know if that's a Hurricane Pike or a BKB, but either way, I think those
That was
two...
a BKB. He's already flying it out.
Oh, wow.
Alright. Thanks to the new patch, Shrines are still going to be invulnerable, so they get to hold on to that for now. Breaking high ground against a sniper is not an easy task, especially since there's an Undying.
Well, I don't know. It seems like triple BKBs are coming out for Faceless. Ice 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 is working on one. And I think Black is also working on one. I think once triple BKB comes out, especially if Faceless has Aegis on top of that, I don't see TNC having enough physical damage to deal with it.
I think... Well, the physical damage is pretty damn high, though, if you remember. It is an Ursa. Right?
Well,
I'm trying to make it in time, but they aren't going to make it.
Well, twice in a row now, Aegis being claimed by the non-Ursa team.
TNC is hanging around. They want to pick off this Aegis immediately. Jabs is probably going to lose this.
They lift him up, and they're going to try to burst him down as quickly as possible. He does pop the BKB, now goes on Rior. One hit, looking for the second hit. His BKB's keeping alive. They can't even kill him the first time. Raven pops his ultimate. Everyone's going to ignore him. He's going to go down later on. Sam H being slowed down by Ice Ice Ice. He's going to try to run away, but okay, nice juke around. I did hurt the Aegis popping. Sam H not going to make it out, and that's going to be yet another kill. Aegis did pop, but at the cost of two lives, one of them being the Ursa, who still does not have his BKB. He'll buy out now, and that BKB is looking further and further away.
Well, looks like you were right. Once they got the BKBs, there's just very little TNC are able to do. Oh my god, that damage.
Yep. Cuckoo trying to do what he can, but he's just plinking away at this point, not even doing much. Assassinate flying on Black's face, but they have so much sustain from the Witch Doctor Voodoo Restoration. And this melee rack's going down super fast.
Alright, they got it. That is a shrine. Damn, Ice 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 is almost level 25. It's level 22 right now. What do you think he takes at 25? I feel like both of these talents for level 25 is a little underwhelming for Timbersaw.
20 strength is like 400 HP, which I don't feel like
that's the best. I actually think that's better than 6% attribute reduction.
I guess there's not many strength heroes, right? That he's up against.
Well,
I mean, Undying gets wrecked by it, but it's just a support.
It reduces 21% agi for the cores, but I don't think it really does much. I'm pretty sure 20 strength is the way to go.
Alright, we'll see. I'm surprised he took the spell cast range instead of spell amp at level 20.
Yeah, I saw that as well. It is kind of nice to have, though. It makes it that much easier to chain further and draw your chakram further. Alright, they're keeping an eye out for the shrine area. Oh, looks like Jabs is going to be going for that Hurricane Pike. And once he gets that Hurricane Pike, he's not going to have to worry much at all about this Ursa.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ursa is already not a factor anymore. What you said about him, you know, being able to the 1v1 essentially any hero.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, that's just no longer true.
Especially since the supports have items now. They're really tanky. Look at this. Witch Doctor has the Ghost Scepter. You're not going to be able to kill him. Ogre Magi picking up a Solar Crest. Very nice for the Siege.
Yeah.
Just put it on Venge. Alright, looks like Black is going to be going for a Silver Edge. Wonder if Silver Edge is necessary here.
I don't think so, but it's just a natural upgrade with his current item set, and the stats is not bad, so...
Yeah, that's true. If he manages to Silver Edge the Sniper, though, that'd be pretty big. Reduces a lot of his damage and just cuts out both of his, like, super important passives.
I mean, honestly, he doesn't do that much damage right now. So, I'm not even sure if they're gonna worry about him. He does take the 200 HP Talon. We've been seeing some players take the DPS on the Shrapnel. And here comes Ice. Immediate TP out.
Ice is just so damn strong right now.
Radiant's top towers take
They were just snowballing so hard after he finished that Bloodstone.
Yeah.
22 charges now. Doesn't have to worry about the mana anymore. And working towards that Scepter, and once he finishes that Scepter, then I think Raven isn't going to be going anywhere. He either enrages early or BKBs. That's like the only way you can survive against this Timber.
Neither of them sound like good options.
Yeah. Looks like Faceless are gonna play this out slowly. They're pressuring every single lane, not really rushing into doing anything. Ice rejoins his team.
The Dire might want to mine their top
Wave's kind of far, so they can't exactly push in either.
I wonder why they're playing so patiently. I feel like they could just essentially brute force it at the current game state. They're so far ahead.
I think, I mean, you say that, but Sniper and Undying, not exactly the easiest to break high ground on. I would just have to assume that they're going to wait for the next Aegis instead.
Okay, well, it's going to be quite a while until the next one.
Which I think Faceless are perfectly fine with. They continue to farm out on their cores. Timbersaw, I think he just gets like that much scarier once he finishes his Scepter. The amount of damage you can output is just insane. Jav's finishing his Hurricane Pike. And Black is also going to go for that BKB. And once he gets that BKB as well, it's just getting closer and closer to the end of this game, I feel. I don't think TNC really have the damage to beat triple core BKB.
I don't even think the Venge needs BKB, because a lot of times she's looking to swap one out and just immediately walk away. But the BKB allows her to stand her ground and just actually right-click people, which is probably her immediate goal in the future.
It just makes it that much easier for her team as well, because like it's not exactly easy to kill off a Tombstone, but I think if she has BKB, she can just walk up to it and destroy it.
Yep.
And that makes it that much easier for Faceless.
They definitely have the attack speed thanks to Bloodlust to take it down fairly fast.
He's almost level 20 as well. I'm starting to think that Black should actually take the tomes. Getting that 65 damage at level 20 is actually pretty big. It's kind of like Lone Druid, except at level 20 instead of 15.
So not really like Lone Druid.
Look how much damage he does though, with these auras.
So
Sitting for over
320?
300.
Yeah. Seems good.
And same with TA. TA, look at TA's damage. 250, no refraction, no auras. TA probably does like 450 or so with the auras. And the net worth is now 30k. 30k net worth lead for Faceless. Damn. And like you mentioned before, after seeing that start, if you told me that this was how the game was going to turn out, I would definitely not believe you.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you gotta do against Faceless? You get into such a big lead and just one fight. Oh, this maybe could be a turnaround. TNC tries to backstab during Roche time, but it's going down fast. I'm not sure if they can even make it in time. Yeah, that's Aegis. Do you back it off, or do you just...
I think they just fight anyways. This is their last fight. Oh my god.
Cuckoo in a very bad spot right now. They're gonna focus on Black, but they miss Impale again, and now on the backside, Ice comes in. They swap Cuckoo. Cuckoo getting side-bladed. He's just dead. Tints is gonna be dead. Everyone's dead. And they just call GG.
They just call GG. Raven is still trying to pick off Black. Black gets off the stun, eats the cheese, and Raven can't even kill him. Damn, what a comeback. It wasn't like, you know, an insane comeback, but... Actually, you know what? I'm going to say that's an insane comeback.
That is an insane comeback.
Lane phase was something else.
They were down like 5,000-6,000 just from lanes. There was an Ursa with a blink dagger. There was a sniper. Like, it looked impossible. And then Ice says, "You have not met me yet."
That Rampage was pretty...
Yep.
Pretty insane.
It's also what he did with the Rampage. I think a lot of Timbersaw would have just got the Bloodstone and then went further aggressive with Blink Daggers. But he chose BOT instead. He's like, you know what? The time for aggressive is in the future. I'm going to just make sure that I'm going to be the most farm person on the map. Putting you pressure, and then once he got like Shiva's Guard, Aghanim Scepter, BKB, with this BOT start, like then he could do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, his GPM reflects it. Highest GPM in the game, 700 per minute. This was just the Ice Timbersaw carry.
Yeah. I think XY in particular played it very well in certain fights. His I mean, Ogre is one of those hero that seems very low skill, at least in team fights, but his selection of Fire Blast targets has been on point. Multiple times you saw Sam H missing his stuns or having difficulty landing it. I think some of it was due to XY. But I hope that TNC is not too demoralized, because they had the best start possible, and they still lost.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe if maybe they just need to draft something that's more reliable in the late game and doesn't fall off.
That was a late game. That was 10 minutes in, man.
No, but it's not that though. It's like if you can't. I think that was just a huge blunder. That team fight. I don't think like you said, they were so far ahead, right? I don't think a Rampage was meant to happen.
Sure.
And like if obviously if that happens, the game just becomes that much harder for like something like an Ursa, right? Ursa is like a really strong hero, but I mean, if you're not able to keep up and farm, like look at his net worth, 10,000. Like how are you supposed to ask Raven to face up against any of those cores? Like all of them like double his net worth. Like you just can't fight.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ursa's that's Ursa's problem, right? His leads are always very, very ephemeral. You lose that lead, it's gone forever. So, well, we'll see what they're gonna do in Game 2. Faceless threatening to eliminate TNC from the DAC qualifiers, and TNC definitely need to win the next game to stay alive. So stay tuned. We'll take a short break. We'll be back.